We have some NFL news and OTA things to discuss. My name is Harrison Graham. What is going on with CJ Stroud? He has not been practicing as he is nursing something in his shoulder. So we'll talk about that, try to figure out what's going on there. Matt LeFleur felt the need to publicly defend Jordan Love after, at least from the outside noise, not having his best season after a good first year as a starter 2 years ago. Give my thoughts on that. And then Stefon Diggs back at OTAs after partying with Cardi B and some other ladies on the boat last week. So lots to get into as things are flying in the NFL. I want to know, can we set a channel record? Our channel record on an individual video is 796 likes. Can we get to 800 today? Is that possible? Well, do your part. Just hit that like button. Helps us out, gets more eyeballs on this show, and we can continue to do more content. So go ahead and like the video today. Okay, what is going on with CJ Stroud? Look, it's OTAs. It's early June. I'm not going to overreact here, but for the second or even third week now, he is not been throwing at OTAs. And Demeco Ryans today called it general soreness. Here's what he had to say in full. He said, "There's no concerns with CJ. It's just general soreness. We're taking extra precaution with him, but he'll be good to go. No concerns on my end there." That's it for CJ, guys, because he was asked about it again. On the questions, that's it. What I said, that's it for him. It's general soreness, and we're taking extra precaution with him. We're not going to rush him into anything. He'll be fine with the when the moment is for him to be ready to go, he'll be ready to go. Which, in other words, he's saying, I expect him to be ready for training camp. But I'm going to put this in the something to monitor category. Like, again, I'm not going to overreact to it now, but it's June. The season for the Texans ended in January. Like, has he been throwing at all during the offseason? Did something pop up during his offseason training? It's just a little odd, right? I mean, he's the quarterback, so he has to throw. If he's good to go at training camp, not really a concern. It's his third year in the NFL, but it is a new offensive coordinator, it is a new offense. You'd like to have him out there. We'll see if he's at their mandatory minicamp throwing, and he is present. He's just not throwing. It's just one of those deals where it'd be one thing if coming off his rookie year, he had an even better year too, right? And he was like established as a top 5, top 7 guy, but he didn't have a great second season. Like, he was good, he was fine. They still won a playoff game, but he didn't take that year 2 jump, right? Now, if you flip these years and like 2024 was his rookie year and 2023 was his second year, you'd be like, oh, this guy is one of the fastest ascending players in the NFL. But what stands out from year 1 to year 2 is last year he took 52 sacks. He took an absolute beating playing quarterback for the Houston Texans last year, which has probably led to this shoulder issue. And what did they do this offseason? I think they got, at best, the same offensive line in terms of overall talent, but probably worse. I mean, you trade Laramie Tunsil, one of the better left tackles in the league, to Washington. You signed Cam Robinson, who's a fine stopgap, but not great. I like Ariante Ursery. We'll see if he's in the mix on the left side or if they play him on the right side, the rookie out of Minnesota. I don't like that interior. Laken Tomlinson's not a very good player. Titus Howard is just okay. They're kicking him inside, it sounds like. He could be an option at right tackle again as well. The centers, they don't really have one. I think this whole line has major questions still. I still think it's a bottom 10, bottom 12 unit. Now, if Ursery hits and Robinson plays well, maybe it's middle of the pack, but certainly he hasn't improved, which to me was their biggest need in this offseason, which is why I didn't love what they did this offseason. But, I'm keeping an eye on this story. Like I said, just storing it in the memory bank. Well, very much in the something to monitor phase, but it's a big year for the Texans. Big year for Stroud, as it's been a good start to a career, but you're looking for that next step. Like, can he enter the conversation in the AFC with Lamar, Burrow, Allen, in the group really chasing the Chiefs? Because there's a gap between those teams who have been knocking on the door, Baltimore, Buffalo, and a couple of years Cincinnati. Houston is a tier below, especially Buffalo and Baltimore. So we'll see if they can close that gap this year. Okay, we'll keep with the quarterback theme. Matt LeFleur. There's been a lot of Jordan Love talk this offseason. Did he regress last year? Why didn't he play as well? He's making all this money now. And, I always get mixed feelings when a coach feels the need to, like, kind of go public and back his guy. Like, on one hand, you're like, yeah, you back your guy, Matt. And on the other, it's like, if you're having to go to bat for him to this level, maybe there's a reason. So here's what he had to say when it came to his quarterback. He said, I think there's like a narrative out there for whatever reason that he wasn't as productive as the year before. Well, he missed significant time. He missed the better part of 3 games. Also, let's be honest, this is what I thought was weird. We've talked about this. We did have a lot of drops last year. Isn't that like what fans say and like content creators? Like, if I'm defending Caleb Williams and I want to go above and beyond, it's like, well, DJ Moore didn't have the best year last year. Or if I want to defend Patrick Mahomes, it's like, well, Xavier Worthy was running the wrong routes. It's like, that's like me, the content creator, the fan, the people on the outside. It's like the head coach defending his quarterback so much that he's pointing to drops feels kind of odd. Like, it's just kind of a weird comment to make because, sure, you're backing your quarterback. You're also throwing other people under the bus, though. Look, the fact of the matter is, you compare side by side, and he is right. He missed the bet. He left, I think, 4 games early, technically. So when you add it up, he played, 13 and a half, 14 total games, even though he played and started 15. But, the QB rating's about the same. Like, overall, like, I do think it's probably been a bit overstated, like, oh, Jordan Love regressed. But what he didn't do, kind of like CJ Stroud, but I think in a different standard here, is he didn't take that step forward. And why is that a big deal? Well, it's year 5, even though it's only his second year as a starter, and money changes everything. He's making $55 million per year. CJ Stroud, he kind of is like, well, through 2 years, he's had a pretty good start to his career, even if his rookie year was better than the second one. He's still on a rookie contract. Jordan Love is among the highest paid quarterbacks in the league. Like, when you pay him that money, just like with Brock Purdy and the Niners, you're expecting to find another level. Like, that's the expectation. So, at best, he played to a similar level. I would say he played a little worse, especially when you compare to the second half of his first year as a starter. Now, that was kind of an all-time heater, so maybe that was a little unrealistic. But if you just watch the Packers last year, they leaned on Josh Jacobs heavily. Like, I felt like at times they kind of tried to hide Jordan Love. It's like, we're just going to ride Jacobs, and when we have to throw, we'll throw. That's what they tried to do in the playoff game, and it was a disaster because the Eagles were able to contain Jacobs to a reasonable number. I think he had like 80 yards on 20 carries, so, he didn't go crazy. And when Jordan Love had to throw, it was ugly. 3 picks, QB rating under 50. It wasn't good at all. Now, look, young players have bad playoff games. The Eagles ended up winning it all. I'm not acting like one playoff game is the end of Jordan Love's career or anything like that, but that's not a $55 million quarterback, right? And, the Packers kind of did it to themselves because when they sat Love for 3 years and then he goes on a crazy heater in the second half of his first year as a starter, they kind of got backed into a corner. It's like, what are we going to do? Not pay the guy? No, you kind of have to keep him at that point. So it's just interesting. He's got a limited sample size as a player despite being in the league for 5 years. Some really good, some really bad, a lot of up and down. And I think it's a massive year for Jordan Love. It really, really is. Because, again, when you get paid like that, the pressure ramps up. The expectation is to go be one of the 7 or 8 best quarterbacks in the NFL. And regardless of what is true in terms of, oh, he didn't get worse or this and that, well, he did not play like a top 8 guy last year. I think anyone can agree to that. He probably was closer to like, 12 to 16. And that's not what they're paying for. So big year for Jordan Love, big year for CJ Stroud, but more so Love because he's been paid and the expectations rise once that happens. Who is the quarterback you'd rather ride or die with moving forward? Like, you can pick one of these guys to roll with moving forward. Who would you rather have? Type CJ for CJ Stroud, JL for Jordan Love. Let me know down in the comment section below. All right, before we get out of here, Stefon Diggs back at OTAs after that video surfaced late last week where he's partying it up with Cardi B and other, supermodels, influencers, whoever those ladies were. And we all saw the video. And if you haven't, go look it up. A pink substance was being passed around. I'm no expert, so I'll leave that to the as Smitty would say, folks who are online, experts, Smitty, one of our producers here, was it a hardcore drug? Was it not? I don't know. But when Mike Vrabel comes out and is like, yeah, we need to be making good decisions on and off the field, that's not a great sign. Now, I will say in the clips we saw yesterday, 8 months removed from a torn ACL, I was like, Diggs looks pretty good. Looks smooth, getting in and out of breaks. So good move on his part to get back at OTAs. And even though they're voluntary, I'm guessing he or his agent got a call from either Vrabel, Kraft, or whoever after that video emerged and was like, get your ass to the building because we're just not going to operate like that. We know Mike Vrabel, he's not going to deal with bullshit. I'm guessing a conversation has taken place. Like, dude, this is your first year here, your third team in as many seasons. You're coming off a torn ACL. You haven't played high level ball in a couple of years. Like, if there's another situation like this, we're probably just going to cut you. Like, the way his contract's set up, they could bite the bullet and cut him and not really have a severe penalty. So we'll see what happens. I'm not expecting Stefon Diggs to, when he's healthy, to become 2021 Stefon Diggs, but they signed him for a reason. And Drake May needs reliable weapons to enhance his development, and that's why they brought him in here. And, at times in his career, Stefon Diggs hasn't been the most reliable guy off the field, but when he was having 1,500-yard seasons, you kind of don't care. He's not that player anymore, so there's only so much you can get away with when you aren't as productive. It's the old cliche of like, if your talent outweighs your drama, you're always going to have a job. But if Diggs has another situation, I could see the Patriots moving on there. So we'll see where it goes. Again, this isn't 3 years ago. Like, he's been on 3 teams in 3 years now. He tore his ACL last year. He's had a couple of down seasons. I don't think he can operate like he can just do whatever the hell he wants, which is why I think he was back at OTAs, because he knows that his leash is a lot shorter than it was 5 years ago in Buffalo or before that in Minnesota, etc. All right, that's going to do it for this edition of 4 Verts. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Hit that subscribe button if you want free and daily NFL content. We got you guys covered. We'll see you guys soon.